Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you for attending the OpenJS Foundation board meeting. This is Todd Moore. Let's call the public session to order for September 24th, 2021.
Okay, very good. Welcome, everybody. First up on the screen, we have some news. Robin.
Yeah, we have news. As many of you all have perhaps met Rachel or worked with her, or I know she was a great part of the community, but Rachel has taken a fabulous new opportunity at GitLab. So she has left the OpenJS Foundation. She's still very much a part of our community, but we just want to say, hey, Rachel, we were just so lucky to have you leading the way. You've helped the foundation grow from the very beginning, and we wish you all the success.
Here, here. Many thank yous to Rachel.
Cheers.
We miss you a lot, Rachel.
And I think we will see Rachel in Austin in June at our event. So we will celebrate her, hopefully in person then.
All right. Well, moving on to our agenda for today. First up, we will approve the meeting minutes. We did not meet in August. We took a summer break. So we'll be approving the July meeting minutes, give an update on certification, on JSlandia. Have a CPC update, which includes a vote on a change to the CPC charter. Have some updates from Standards Working Group, various project updates, and a marketing update. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add to the agenda? Not hearing any, we will move forward. First up, approving the meeting minutes. Again, this is from July 23rd. Since we did not meet in August, would somebody like to make a motion to adopt the meeting minutes?
Motion to adopt.
Thank you, Todd. Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Thank you, Michael. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Do we have any opposed? Any abstains? Okay, thank you. Meeting minutes are adopted. Moving on to the OpenJS Foundation board directory. Robin, would you like to mention some news here?
Yeah, we have great news today. We had a vacancy in our end user director role position. Our friend G left Netflix, but again, did not leave the community. So we had an open nomination. I'm pleased to announce today that Alex Liu from Netflix will be our new end user director. So welcome, Alex. I was able to send him a quick note a little bit earlier today because the deadline was early this morning for us Pacific time. So really excited to have you on board, literally.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining. Welcome.
And just to provide a little bit of context, this is a role that was created last year by the board of directors with the intent of adding specifically end user voice on the OpenJS Foundation board of directors. The original term ran from August to August, and we are basically looking at aligning our elections. So this will be a somewhat shorter term. Please do keep your eyes open, though, if you're a member company. We're planning to hold the gold, silver, and end user elections sometime in January. So this will be coming back around again. But welcome, Alex. Glad to have you on board. Okay, moving on to the certification update. Robin, take us through this.
Yes, I think the most exciting news for the certification was the announcement from our cross-project council about our LIFT scholarships. And LIFT is with the Linux Foundation Training, who are our great partners. We launched a scholarship program for folks who need it. It launched last Friday. It's going to be open for a month. We've already had some great applications in. I encourage you, if you're interested, please send them our way. So that is pretty fun to see. There's a blog about it. Check it out with links as well. And just some other general updates. The team just is working steadily on making updates. We'll be having a Node 16 version update, for example, coming up near the end of October. We try to stay current with the project, as well as keep everything currently transcribed in Chinese as well. Also, if you're interested, we do have some member discounts up to 50% if you're a platinum member. And we have subscription services, which will give your company even sort of greater discounts. So give me a shout if you're interested.
Okay, let's move on to our JavaScript Landia update.
JavaScript Landia. So I'm super excited to share. We have over 400 supporters to our program. And next week at Open Source Summit in Seattle, Robin and I will both be there. I'll be speaking about JavaScript Landia and some of the other awesome programs that we have at the foundation. But while you're there, if you are there and you're a member of the JSlandia program, we have a special surprise for you. We ordered these really sweet badges, which you can see in the lower left corner of the screen. JSlandia members, come find Robin or I, and we will be very happy to give you one of these dope patches. We also have some stickers that we'll be handing out as well to the general group. If you're not yet a JSlandia member, it's very easy. You could go to JSlandia.org. We're providing for our membership a number of different badges that you can collect to show your support for your favorite projects, as well as, for example, if you have attended one of our past events, if you're taking one of our training and certification programs, these are all sorts of things that you can gather. We're rolling out new badges regularly and hope to share some more news about that through our newsletter. But come learn more about the program and keep us informed of things that you might like to see with the JSlandia program, because it's something we're looking to expand upon for 2022. Hope to see you.
Cool. Yeah, and I think it's javascriptlandia.com.org. They all work.
We got all the domains.
Got them. All righty.
Okay.
Thanks, Jory.
Moving on to the CPC update. Michael, do you want to take us through this?
Sure. So, starting out with items for board approval, we have a change to the governance, which makes it clear that that it's in scope of the CPCs to handle COC reports for projects that don't have a documented process to do so. So that's PR number 782. Brian, in terms of that vote, is that something we should do before I move on to the other issues, or?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that now. So we discussed this a little bit in the private session previously, basically the same background that Michael just gave. Because this is a material change to the CPC charter, it is something that requires a board vote. So I would like to kick off a vote now, asking for board approval of this change. So would somebody like to make a motion for the board to approve this change to the CPC charter?
Do you want to have any discussion first, or just go right to vote? We didn't offer.
I can offer discussion, sure. Does anybody have any further discussion or any questions on this prior to it going through?
I guess my only comment is it seems like a very straightforward change, and I think, Robin, you've indicated there are not many projects that fall under this category. So,
right, and the ones that do have been pretty grateful to be able to have that backup. So
very good. So hopefully this is something that's well received by the community, and if anybody needs to have slightly different COC, they can obviously go and create one, and then they wouldn't fall under this.
Exactly. We have a page that provides the links to the different projects. So yeah, if anybody was like, hey, we don't have one and we want to have one, it's the project just sets it up and then we can provide a reference to that. So not a problem on that front at all.
Good. So this should be well received.
Okay, great. Any other comments on this before we kick off the vote?
Just a motion to approve.
Great, thank you. Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Thank you, Michael. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Do we have any opposed? Any abstains? Okay, thank you. This vote has passed. Back to you, Michael.
Okay, thanks. On the election front, we had 2 elections. So Joe Seppi ran and was reelected as our CPC chairman. So big thanks to Joe for being willing to continue to do that role. He's done a great job for the previous year, and it's great to see him doing that the next year as well. The other election we had was for the secondary CPC director, and I was, reelected thanks to all the CPC members. And I look forward to this coming year, just like last year. In terms of the community fund programs, I think we've already mentioned it, but the travel fund, we've been discussing, we've actually, renamed that to a community fund. It will still support travel, of course, but we're looking at other ways we can support the community through that fund. It's great that we've launched the first one of those, which is the LIFT scholarships. So that was the first one. The next one we're looking at is a thank you program where projects will be able to use the fund to be able to provide thank yous to community members who go above and beyond, and just provide them with a little bit more of a tangible thank you through, either something like a T-shirt or a donation in their name. We're working through what that might is, but more than just the verbal thank you, because often that really means a lot to people to get that special thanks. On the tooling front for the DCO, we're still evaluating next best options and trying to work through those. And those are kind of the major things that are underway. So back to you, Brian.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, great. We will move on to the standards working group update.
All right. So as you all know or may know, hopefully know, this is a group that meets bi-weekly, and it's open to any project participant or any person really who's interested in learning more about web standards, an area of my interest, and others. We've got a few projects that are going on. One we've talked about before, and we're talking about publicly as well on our meetings, the design for this spec education resource site, which we're really hoping to be a great curated library of materials and resources to help developers in, say, their mid-career who are looking to get involved with web standards, have the information and the context they need to be successful working in those spaces, because it can be kind of hard to figure out what's going on. The Linux Foundation's creative services team is working on a brand identity for this site, and we hope to have actually some things to look at and discuss with them at our next meeting during the first week of October. We're also talking as a group about what conversations we want to have or potentially pitch as part of W3C's TPAC, which is coming up also on October. The week of October 18th is a Developer Days week. And this is a great opportunity for a lot of cross-community pollination, discussion, ideas sharing, etc. We've done this in the past, and it's always been a lot of fun and really interesting. So hoping to repeat that. Another thing we're quite excited to be looking into is potentially hosting the TC39 community at OpenJS World 2022. I think that's a tentative interest, but again, all of that is barring, lots of variables. We also want to let the community know that the W3C tags nomination period is open soon. So if you're a participant in any of our communities, there's somebody that you think we should reach out to and encourage, especially, quite frankly, someone from an underrepresented group. We would love to help them learn more about the tag and what it might mean to participate in that group, and potentially help them, write a great nomination statement and put themselves forward. And then another very awesome and tactical activity. We took the action last week to formally support, as the standards working group, our liaison, Emily Aro, to the Unicode Consortium conference, which is happening in California. I think that will make the first travel fund use in nearly 2 years, because of, reasons, but he will be there speaking to that community. Obviously, he's very active in the message format working group because message format JS is in our foundation. So really excited to have him represent us and represent message format the project, as well as message format the standard there at that event. And that is what we're working on and what we're talking about this month at Standards WG.
Thank you, Jory. Anybody have any questions?
No, that's really good. Thank you for keeping that going. It's always important to stay in touch with the standard side. So
yes, great volunteers in that working group too, working on content, working on the wireframe for the website. So just a lot of good work happening there.
Yeah, let us know when we can see the website up and in draft. That would be great.
Cool.
Okay. Let's see, moving on to the next topic, project updates.
Gosh, yeah, this is probably just tip of the iceberg, but Jory and I were thinking, boy, there's always so much to celebrate, and we are always just I won't say scrambling sounds like a bad word, but it's like we are so busy working with all of our projects, making sure they get the visibility and the celebrations that they deserve for all of the hard work. So here's just some of the projects in the past month who have shipped some great updates. If I've missed you, I'm really sorry. We need to always do a better job, I think, of making sure that we're finding out when you're shipping when, so we can help you communicate. But NativeScript 8.1, huge, Node 16, and Electron 15. Gosh, I think that was this week already. Tons of great work there. You can use AMP with TikTok now, which is pretty awesome. jQuery UI just had a release candidate, Appium 2.0 beta. ESLint continues to ship frequently and often, and they had a new release. Node-RED 2.0 is now generally available. That was big. And gosh, Fastify still is just, growing so quickly. They have 1 million downloads per month. Their stars are going off the charts. So lots of great work there. So if I missed you, I'm sorry. We'll get you on the next one, or ping me so we can make sure we can tweet and blog about you.
Okay. On to the marketing update.
As we mentioned, we miss Rachel. She did such great work, and she helped us in this transition. But just want to show you some stats from the last month. As we might have mentioned, August was a little slow for us, kind of steady, but things sort of picked up, and we had some solid news, which I think gave us a little bit of a bump. We had welcomed officially American Express as a member. We did a feature on Nick O'Leary at Node-RED, and as Michael mentioned, and others, the Node Scholarship Fund all really sort of helped really drive some more engagement on our social media channels. So we're up on just the number of tweets. We're coming down still, I think, from that peak we saw with our event. But you'll see if Brian, you want to hit the next couple slides. We're kind of crawling back up, as I think we're all feeling it as we're all going back to work after the summer, how things are quite picking up. So on Twitter, you'll see, and I even looked from the month prior, we're actually have kind of been doubling from July, August, and now September on our engagement. What engagement really means: are people clicking on it? Are they sharing it? Are they interacting with it somehow? You want to hit the next slide. LinkedIn is another area where we're not growing quite as fast. This was actually the topic of our marketing committee. If you're an OpenJS member or very interested in marketing, you're welcome to join. We have our meetings on the public calendar. We had one this week. We talked about maybe changing up some of the content we're posting on LinkedIn. So we have a little bit more work to do there, but know that that's a very important audience for us. I'm going to hit the next. Lots of, I love seeing our blog metrics. One, because there's so much great content that a lot of it's developed by us, a lot of it's developed from the community. And so we've had a really sort of busy month, as you can see from all of the blogs that have been published. And our numbers are back up to almost where they were during our conference with June and coming up in July. So that's great to see. I'll hit the next. And YouTube, wow. I mean, YouTube is changing up. It's really, I just love to see the variety. You know, I think in the past, it used to be 1 or 2 projects that were featured. This time, Analytical from her keynote at OpenJS World hit #1. Go Analytical. She was just on the cover of Wired magazine. So that was just great. So congratulations there. And again, some other great content. So it's really interesting to see sort of the mix on what folks are interested in. Hit the next. Website metrics. You know, down again, some of the blogs and the readership was up, but just when you think about the overall web, I think we still have some more work to do there. The Linux Foundation, who we work with, they're changing up some of the tooling. So we should have probably some more insights coming up in the next few months. And, but we thought what was cool about this slide is JavaScriptlandia now came in as number 10 for referral. So that was pretty cool.
Do we have any geography specific information?
To be honest, I don't quite know. This was sort of Rachel's domain. Mine is a little rusty from my marketing days. So, you know, we're just relearning the tools. But again, the Linux Foundation hired a new chief marketing officer with some really awesome digital marketing skills. And so we're going to be learning a lot from him and his folks, Derek Weeks, and get some better, I think, telemetry data to share.
Yeah, it'd be great to know where our users are coming from and what they're looking at.
Yeah. And conversely, we need, you know, trying to figure out how can we take some of our top projects and get information from them as well and to support them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. OpenJS World 2022. We have a program committee that has been meeting almost weekly. Those are on the public calendar. We've had some great folks from our community participate. And hopefully we'll have more to share on sort of how that program is shaping up. That'll come out probably in October sometime. And so thank you everyone from the program committee, really appreciate that. We'll be opening up CFPs in mid-January. But sort of the most, one of the important things near term is we'll be starting to offer up sponsorship packages. And so that's all come together. Here's sort of the first glance at those rates, but we have a prospectus that should be ready in the next week with all of those benefits. So give me a shout on a DM on Twitter or on our OpenJS Twitter handle or email, and be glad to connect with you and your company, your reps. Okay. And I think that's it for our content today. Lots of great work from the projects. Really appreciate it. Lots of great work for the team. Again, thank you, Rachel, for providing such a smooth transition for us. And if you are interested in the marketing role at OpenJS, that's another thing that we're in the middle of searching for as well. So that's all I have today. Yep. Thanks, Todd.
Well, and thank you to the staff again. That was a very productive session, and clearly we continue to make great progress. So everybody, I think, across the foundation and the projects ought to be very proud of themselves. So it's doing very well. Well, if there's no other topics, we'll call the OpenJS Foundation board meeting to a close. Thank you all.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks all.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.